Hi everyone, Mus'e here with another WarLock Tile video for you. In this one, I'm focusing on miniatures as well as modularity, and I'm going to break that down for you so you can understand what it is that I'm talking about. When you're a dungeon master or a game master, you know that there is a lot of prep that tends to go into getting things ready. That's where modularity is going to come into play. There are also some features in our WarLock Tiles that really enhance the use of miniatures in your game. The first thing I want to address is the fact that when you get a whole floor plan laid out and you start to incorporate miniatures into it, it really does enhance the level of immersion that's going to happen when you sit down to play. I have used pieces from our dungeon dressings as well as our stairs and ladders, and also just some miniatures from WizKids that I have in my collections that were painted a while back, like these kegs on their stands right there. The other thing, now that you can see a larger layout created, the one thing that was definitely kept in mind was when all the tiles were put together is to make sure there weren't the type of patterns that once they all started to get assembled that you would notice it. There's actually 3 different types of patterns that happen on these tiles, so you actually get this great variety and your eye doesn't start picking up a oops, same tile, oops, same tile, oops, same tile issue that sometimes can happen with other terrain. Along with that, and this is where the walls come into play, there is something called a kick plate on each wall. This is both interior and exterior. I have an exterior wall from our town and village collection, just so you could see it. Now you'll notice there is this notch that is taken out on all your walls, and this is all of the walls, even the interior ones. What this notch does is it gives you that much more play space, literally, for your miniatures with their bases. So I have a mini right here. This is one of our Wardling minis. What you'll notice is that when you go to put this miniature up against a wall and on the grid, it tucks in beautifully within its own square. You don't have major overlap like will happen sometimes with thicker walls on other terrain. When you go to put this up on the square and there is a wall right there, you may find sometimes that your base is going to overlap and lip into the next square in the grid. So that's another feature that I wanted to make sure to mention, that when minis come into play, you have that feature so that they can sit more flush and within their own space, literally. And also, again, with the walls, you have that half wall factor, which was mentioned in the other video, but you can see now how those half walls make it so that you'll still be able to see your miniatures. Keep in mind, our Wardling miniatures are child-sized miniatures. So if you're dealing with an adult, there's a little bit more of a height to it. But again, this makes it so that when you finally go to start playing and you put these miniatures onto your layouts on the table for your players to see, they are going to be able to see up and over and around and know what's going on the floor entirely without having to stand up and peer over and look around corners type of situation. Let's look at modularity now, because that's the other big factor that is fantastic for GMs and DMs out there who like to use game terrain on their tables. Modularity basically means you can pick these up and move them around and make quick set changes, which, speaking from personal experience, I have a group who loves to split the party. I'm not kidding. Every single time we've come to play together, they've split themselves, sometimes even as much as like 4 or 5 different areas. But it's good, because when it comes to using the WarLock Tile system, what you're going to notice is that set changes are very easy to do because of the fact that they are so securely attached to each other and so stable. So here I have the first floor. I'm going to call this my tavern. So here we have the first floor to my tavern. You can see there's this whole great layout here. There are little details like, oh, there are stairs that are going to lead up, and oh hey, there's a trap door over here that's probably going to lead down. I can guarantee you that when my players come into this room, they would look and be like, oh hey, look, there's a set of stairs. Oh my gosh, look, there's a trap door right there. Divide and conquer. So say that half the group decides they want to explore the first floor. Okay, sure, great, wonderful, fine. But then the other half of the group wants to go upstairs and see what's happening. Well, not kidding, I have right next to me my second floor ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift this over just a little bit so you can still see the first floor, but literally all I have to do is turn my torso to pick it up, and I am going to bring in, I'm actually trying to make sure I have this in the right orientation, I'm going to bring in my second floor, just like this. Look at that. And you'll notice it's already prepped with minis and set up as well. So right here is my second floor. Now keep in mind, I'm actually running more out of camera space than I am of table space. I actually have a whole bunch of table space to keep using. But what you can see is happening here is now you are able to deal with both levels at the same time you maybe took a minute to do it. It wasn't the, okay, let's take 10 minutes break. I'll get the second floor set up too, so that now you know what's going up on the second floor. You don't lose the surprise element by bringing out your second floor. It's already there and set and ready to go. So I have it where, okay, there's a couple in this room over here, and there's a ladder to signal going up. All right, so yes, there's another floor that we're gonna have come into play. And you also have other things like this lectern, the treasure chests, the stairs of where they're going to come back up. And you may have to like just adjust a couple minis here and there like I'm doing right now, but really you are able to get your layout set up with your miniatures and all your accessories and be good to go. So let's look at these ladders. This is a fun thing. If they come into this room, they're like, oh wait, there's a ladder, let's go further up, because you know, they will. Here's the fun thing about the ladders with our miniatures. There's actually, again, notches right here. These notches mean that you can tuck your miniature base into that ladder. See, doo-doo, they're climbing the ladder. Great visual cue that they're gonna be moving up, and you can just prop it up against the wall, and there you go. They're starting to move up into the top floor. And I even have that top floor, see, ta-da, ready to go. This is where they would be coming through on that ladder. This is just a little turret room that would sit above the second floor area. So again, I'm quickly able to grab and go and show that floor plan so they can take care of that ghostie that's living there. And whoops, yep, I kind of put my, my second floor was put down a little bit too hard, but that is something that is super helpful. Say they're done with second level, they want to go back to the first level and explore some more. Okay, sure. I'm going to just scooch this off my table. Again, just quickly turn. Set it down. If you want to time me on that, look at that counter down at the bottom. Say they go back to that first floor. Of course they would. They're going to start exploring more. They're going to see this door right there. They're going to want to go down a level. All right, sure, you can go down the level. I'm perfectly fine with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to slide over. That was right next to me. Say it was hiding behind, you know, my DM screen or something like that. I'm going to slide over that basement floor, putting the ladder where the door was, just to kind of give them a reference of where they're entering, and this is what they would come into. And I also wanted to show you a floor done without walls. This floor is done with just the end cap finishing pieces, so it's squared off. You can see the floor layout, no problem. And oh, the other thing I'm going to add is one of our fun little hidden wall doors. So all I'm going to do here is tuck that underneath, and now they are able to explore this basement area and take a look at things and see what's happening here. But still, you could have the other party up here doing their own thing. I really wanted to show you how versatile these tiles are, between the kick plates, between the half walls, between the fact that you can bring in other set pieces that you want to from our different collections and put them to use right here on the tiles. Truly, this is a fantastic resource for DMs and GMs who like to use terrain. It's going to save you time. It's really going to enhance your gameplay with your players, and it's going to give everyone a chance to see what's going on, not just on one floor, but numerous floors at the same time when you have the table space to use it. Maybe not the camera space. So that is it for this particular video. Thank you so much for joining me today. Do be sure to keep checking back, as we will be adding more of these videos for you as more sets are released to our WarLock tile system. Until then, I'm Vee Mus'e, and take care, everyone. Bye.